Obviously, the hot topic around the Patriots this week has been, the guys in the trade market, Myles Garrett being one, but more pressingly, Cooper Kupp, because that feels like a more attainable one for the Patriots. It's obviously not both positions of need, but, Cooper Kupp coming in at receiver, that's going to be a sexy topic. Who are the weapons for Drake Maye? And how can this team move forward building around Drake Maye? And Cooper Kupp certainly seems to be one of those guys who should be on the Patriots list. And he's obviously been public with the Rams are getting rid of him. It might come to them cutting him, but really they're trying to trade him and get whatever they can. And it's not going to be the same haul that they were asking for in October when they were looking for a 3rd-round pick, conditional second. Like they could get like a 4th-round pick, 5th-round pick for Cooper Kupp, who is going to be 32 by the time they're taking snaps this year, but he is still an effective receiver. Like, he caught 70 balls this year, I want to say. Yes, 67 catches for 710 yards and 6 touchdowns, which, by the way, if you're keeping score at home with the Patriots team you had this year, those numbers, let's go over that again. Cooper Kupp's 2024 of 67 catches, 710 yards, and 6 touchdowns would lead the Patriots in all 3 categories. All 3. Even in a down year for Cooper Kupp, he would come out of this team and be the most productive receiver. So that's where I'm starting here. Like, you can say, oh, well, he's 32 and the Rams want to get rid of him. And at this point, the Patriots are so bad that doesn't matter. He comes in and he is the best receiver on your team right now. Even in a down year, he's the best damn receiver on your team. And let's take it a step further, because he had a pretty good game against the Patriots. Remember that? It was back in November. It was the week after they beat the Bears and they blew it against the Rams, where he had 6 catches on 10 targets, 106 yards. That's almost 18 yards a catch, and 2 touchdowns. The Patriots, since 2022, have had one such performance from a receiver. One performance that was better than what Cooper Kupp did against the Patriots this year. And you know what it was? It was Kayshon Boutte with 117 yards, January 5th against Buffalo. That shouldn't even count. That's a preseason game. Buffalo had nobody out there, and the Patriots should not have won. So realistically, in games of any kind of consequence the last 3 years, Cooper Kupp's game against the Patriots this year would be better than all of those. All of them. And by the way, interesting note, 2022 was the last time the Patriots had a 100-yard receiving game from one of their wide receivers, and it was Kendrick Bourne, Cooper Kupp's college teammate at Eastern Washington. Kendrick Bourne, who I still at the end of the day kind of like, but boy, does that guy have 9 lives. He's just somehow still with the Patriots. Somehow. We'll see if they end up becoming teammates again. But, I kind of have looked at this through the lens of what does Cooper Kupp do for the Patriots in toto, in the statistical category, like we're just looking at, right? He's an obvious upgrade from anyone the Patriots have, right? Like that's where it's kind of the end all be all for me, because I'm not a football coach, but I can see the production and the style in which this guy plays, and he automatically elevates the Patriots wide receiver room automatically. But what I hadn't thought about, and I should have, because a lot of people are thinking about this, is what he would mean to Drake Maye, as a young quarterback with a new coordinator and just overall a young team, because we kind of get, crowded, like our vision gets crowded of the Patriot way, which we all know that doesn't exist anymore. Like, come on. Vrabel can bring some kind of culture back. I truly believe that. But the Patriot way, like that's bullshit. It's done. It was a thing. It's not anymore in that organization. And we always would think of the Patriot way, 50 feet of crap, and then everyone else. Like no one could hold a torch to the culture that the Patriots had, right? And that was largely true, actually. But that's not the game anymore. And you look at an organization like the Rams, and they've got people in leadership positions everywhere. The McVay tree every year is getting guys becoming head coaches. Liam Cohen, another one this year, a two-time McVay assistant. And Cooper Kupp was a big part of those good Rams teams, including one that won the Super Bowl back in 2021. So it's like, man, that's the kind of culture you need here. That's the kind of guy you need to bring in, which was not the case for so long. You didn't need to bring in people from other organizations in order to build your culture. But this could be a way. And Andrew Whitworth, who won the Super Bowl with him with the Rams, was on 98.5 yesterday. He was with Zolak and Bertrand, and he had something to say about what Cooper Kupp would bring to this team. And it makes a ton of sense, and it's going to make us feel really good about the progression of this team if he comes here.
What would Cooper Kupp mean to Drake Maye if a team like the Patriots traded for him?
Cooper Kupp is the equivalent to having Sean McVay on the field. Like, Cooper Kupp could walk in a room right now and run an offense. Like, he's that intelligent. He understands the game that much. When we would go eat and have breakfast and spend time together, he's one of those guys that's like, dude, I can't wait to coach football. Like, he's that type of guy. Like,
You think the Patriots could use that? You think the Patriots could use Sean McVay on the field with a young Drake Maye? I think that would be nice. And honestly, this could be, we talked about with Josh McDaniels as the OC, like he's malleable. He can mold his team around his personnel. There's a real world where if Cooper Kupp comes in here, especially, the Patriots could be running a McVay kind of offense. Like, Josh McDaniels can do that. In fact, I think that's one of the places he spent some time this year, was seeing how McVay did it when he was out at USC seeing Lincoln Riley, and I think he went to Sean McVay practices as well. So that is just a perspective I had not thought of, and I should have. But that a guy like Cooper Kupp is super important for Drake Maye. And so the more I think about that, the more I'm like, you know what? You kind of have to do this because and maybe most importantly, he's the most productive receiver you would have right now, even on a down year for him this year. He's better than anything you got in the room. No doubt. Again, would lead the Patriots in the down year. He would have led the Patriots this year in receptions, yards, touchdowns. And his game against the Patriots this year was better than any real game that a Patriots receiver played in 2024. So that's the first thing. The second thing is this team needs some veterans. They need some culture change. And they definitely need it around the offensive side because that's where their leader is going to be in Drake Maye, the franchise guy. And I think Drake Maye probably does and says the right things, but he needs to see what a winning culture looks like because he didn't really have it in college and he hasn't had it in the pros. He's made the most of it. He won games in college and all that, but I'm talking about a true winning culture, having vets in here that know what it takes to win at this level. And he's going to help out Drake Maye in the X's and O's as well. Like, there's nobody like Hunter Henry maybe, but no one else really on that team, on that offense is telling Drake Maye what to do, is telling Drake Maye what it's supposed to look like, is working with him after hours, Cooper Kupp brings all of those things, and he's cheap. He's not going to cost you a lot. Like, this team is not going to be the 0-1 Patriots, but I look at that team, and 2021 as well, to be honest, as a team that needed a big upgrade and was going to bring in a lot of veteran guys that were going to show guys how to win, show guys how to compete the right way. In 01, we saw it with, guys like Roman Pfeiffer and Brian Cox was a big one on that team. Big Cox on that team. And this is what this team needs. And it's going to be cheap and he's still productive. So the more I think about it, the more I say, the Patriots have to go and get Cooper Kupp because that's the way I'm thinking about it right now. It just makes too much sense. It helps out the organization. It helps out Mike Vrabel. It helps out Josh McDaniels. It helps out the culture. It helps out Drake Maye. And it helps out everyone else on the field. No brainer. Patriots, go get Cooper Kupp.
We are Rogue Media Sports.
Hey, thanks for stopping by. And if you like this video, be sure to give us a like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel a ton. You can follow me on Twitter here for some more outrageous Boston sports takes coming to you every weekday at noon Eastern time. And then after that, wherever you get your podcasts.
We are Rogue Media Sports.